Hello and welcome to our live healathon event. I'm Brent Michael Phillips. I will be your host for tonight, where I'm going to guide you on an exciting journey to first discover and then experience for yourself the 7 secrets to higher dimensional living. We've got a lot to do. This is going to be an amazing experience. We've got a lot to cover. So here are the things you're going to experience. First, we'll start off with a little discovery and some demonstrations of these 7 secrets so you know what they are and how they work. You'll get to experience subconscious block clearing. You'll get to experience consciousness shifting. And this is really a rare treat. There's honestly only a few people in the world that know how to do this. And I will be doing it with you here right now in a couple of minutes. I'm going to be doing after that a live healing session. I've taken a volunteer from my VIP club, so I'm going to have a real person with a real problem and show you how to apply these secrets in real time, and you get to follow along and get healed too. How awesome is that? We're going to have an extensive question and answer session at the end. I give you my word, I will stay on as long as it takes to answer all of your questions. We're also going to be giving healings to everybody that requests one. And like the questions, I'm pledging I will stay on as long as it takes tonight to give everybody who requests one a healing. And the last thing we'll do before we finish at the end is a radiation clearing healing. I encourage you to stick around for that. It's a really powerful and important process to clear the harmful radiation that's accumulated both in your body and into your electronics, especially your cell phone. And so let's have some fun. This is a live interactive event. And as part of the webcast, we have both a chat room and a Q&A. And so the chat room, please just jump in right now and say hello. Just let us know your first name and where you're at tonight. We'd love to hear from you. So the Q&A is a separate panel. You'll see that on your webcast. That's if you want to submit specific questions for me or a request for healing. And again, after the presentation, I'll be answering all the questions and doing healings on everybody, and I will stay on as long as it takes. And so during the presentation, I won't be able to interact with you in the chat room because I'm obviously presenting. But I have a few of my assistants and students there. And please, again, say hello. If you have any questions, we're happy to help out. So uh, I am Brent Michael Phillips. I have been called the miracle engineer. And so why should you care about this, right? Why do I think I, can change your life so quickly? Well, let me tell you why. It's because I have made it my life's purpose. It is my mission, my quest to help you end your suffering. It's that simple. I've devoted my life to discovering, understanding, and explaining higher consciousness, how to reach your potential and inner power, to uncover and offer to the world the highest truth, to be a guide and a teacher of awakening and embodiment to help everybody accelerate on their journey to enlightenment, to the end of your suffering. That's why we're here. If you've heard of me maybe on the radio or the TV, I'm very pleased that some of the media have actually called me the #1 most powerful American healer and spiritual teacher. By background, I am a software engineer from MIT. And back during the 80s and 90s when I was at MIT, I am legitimately one of the people that created the modern internet. But the last 15 years plus of my life, I have been a healer, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual coach. I've had over 20,000 students come through my courses. I've facilitated over 18,000 private sessions. And the thing here I am most proud of, I have been able to facilitate over 1,500 miraculous instant healings for my clients. And when I say a miraculous instant healing, I'm not talking about someone who goes, oh, I felt nice energy. I'm talking about things that show up on medical scans that confuse and befuddle doctors. So if you're here to experience and discover the formula for miracles, you're in the right place. You may have heard of me on TV or radio. I've been a frequent guest on both local and national TV and radio. I've also been a frequent guest on a lot of internet telesummits. I've been an expert guest on well over 200 summits, including almost all the big ones, and I've been the most popular and best-selling guest on a lot of them. I am the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System for Personal Transformation. I am a 2-time Amazon #1 best-selling author. And so I know that you want to make the most of our time together. So please, just for the next hour or so, either turn off your cell phone or put it on silent, close or minimize the link based twit gramming app, whatever it is you kids are using this week. Trust me, social media will still be there after we're done here. And I don't want you to be distracted. So, if possible, either mute or turn off your TV. Because again, I want to offer you the fruit of my life's work. I want to give you the keys to the universe. And I know you want to make the most of our time together. So let's jump right into it. I'm here to help you experience miracles. It's that simple. So, what's a miracle? Well, quite simply, a miracle is any phenomena that can't be explained by our current level of science and technology. And guess what? You're already living amidst many miracles. You just may not know it. For example, the computer or phone or tablet you're watching this webinar on, that would have been considered a miracle just maybe 100 years ago. Even without a network, electricity is a miracle. Our cars, our houses, the internet, our whole modern world is a miracle. Why? These are things that, again, just 100 years ago would have been considered magical, miraculous, impossible. And so, what I want to offer to you is very simple, that the things that we still call miracles, instant healing, the ascension of consciousness, prosperity, finding love, finding purpose, developing razor sharp intuition, even achieving enlightenment, these are all things that are within our grasp now because there really is a formula for miracles. And I'm going to talk a little more about it. But I want you to know this for now. There really is a way to facilitate and invite miracles into your life. And the only reason you haven't learned it yet is simply that you haven't learned it yet. The same reason why we didn't have cell phones and the internet 100 years ago. People hadn't discovered and understood the technology yet. But I've made it my mission, my purpose to spend my life to figure it out, to offer it to you. Because I guarantee in 20, 50, maybe 100 years in the future, instant healings will be considered normal. Profound transformations around money and success will be considered normal. Developing razor sharp intuition will be normal. Why? It's all just technology. And I want to offer you the state of the art technology for miracles. And so you may ask, okay, Brent, that sounds great, but why do people call you the miracle engineer? Great question. I got my background at MIT. When I was growing up, it was my dream to go to MIT because I wanted to be the world's greatest programmer. It was that simple. I'm not sure I ever achieved that goal, but I did go to college at MIT and I discovered the internet. And of course, if that sounds funny today, but back in the 80s, no one had ever heard of the internet. And long story short, I became one of the world's leading internet experts. When I was in graduate school at MIT, I helped to send the first ever live video over the web. I created some amazing real-time applications. I won't geek out on you on all the things I was involved with. Just know that I really am legitimately and truly one of the people that helped to create the internet. And so when I left MIT, I figured, well, heck, I'm going to move to California, start an internet company, and make millions. And you know what? I had a lot of success at first. My very first year out of MIT, I did the very first website for Nissan Motors. I did the very first website for Disneyland. I even did the first website for the launch of the Sony PlayStation in the summer of 1995. So, you know what? Things got off to a great start. And you'd think, well, heck, if Brent was such a great background, you went to MIT, you were an internet expert at just the right time, you did these incredible websites, all these high profile projects, you'd be hugely successful, right? Well, you know what? Unfortunately, it went just the other way. I didn't just crash, I burned. My whole life blew up. And so I'm going to go through this quickly because I know a lot of you watching this have already heard my story, but just the basics. When I left MIT, I started a website design company and an online game company. And I figured, well, I'll recruit my lifelong best friend, I'll work really hard for a couple of years, and then sell my companies for millions of dollars. And it got off to a great start. But there was a secret, a dirty little secret, and it was this. In order to create two vast internet companies, things, these things we're doing had never been done before, fast moving technology. At the beginning of the internet boom, the only reason it happened is because I was working 100 hours a week, literally. It was every day, early morning to late night, 7 days a week, no breaks, no vacations, no holidays. It was nothing but work. And my health started to break down. After a few years of this just brutal work schedule, I started to have some pain and stiffness in my wrist and my elbows and my neck. And then one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. After another long day at the office, I went out to drive home, and my hands were shaking so bad I couldn't get the car open. But I didn't panic. I figured, well, heck, I'll go to the doctors. They'll take care of me. And so, long story short, I spent 3 years in conventional therapy, and I didn't get better. I got worse. My pain got so bad I had to move in with my parents because some days I was in so much pain I had to have my mother cut my food for me. I'm not kidding. I even had a lot of trouble driving. I could only drive 10 or 15 minutes at a time because I'd have to pull over because holding the steering wheel was too painful. But you know what? After 3 years of treatment, I finally got in to see the head doctor at Curlin Job, which is the top physical therapy clinic in Los Angeles, where all the professional athletes and Olympians go. And I was so excited. I'm like, wow, I'm finally going to see one of the best doctors in the world. I know he'll be able to help me. And I walked into his office and he had all my files on his desk and he just looked at me and said, I'm sorry, son, but there's nothing I or any doctor can do for you. You're always going to be in a lot of pain and can never be able to work. And I was dumbfounded. I was like, what? The best doctor in the world is telling me he can't help me? And the last thing he said before I left his office, he said, tell me, son, is there someone that can take care of you until you die? I kid you not. And he put me on permanent disability when I was 27 years old. They actually told me, please don't come back. They didn't want to waste their valuable resources on an impossible case. And so I was devastated. When I told my best friend about this, my business partner, I figured he'd be like, hey, buddy, hang in there. We'll get through it together. Instead, the opposite happened. I was fired from my position at the company. The website company that I had founded, it was my idea. I built it up with my blood, sweat, and tears, were sold for millions of dollars behind my back. And so I was devastated. What I call the cherry on top of that hot fudge sundae was I also found out that my lifelong best friend and partner had secretly been dating the woman I was in love with. So it was a wipeout, as they say, a dark night of the soul. Everything went wrong. I was in terrible pain. I couldn't work. I was living with my parents. I had no money. I was racking up credit card debt. And I was told that there was no possibility of recovery. And my case was so bad, I was put on permanent disability at 27 and sent home to die. And so I didn't get totally down at first. It seemed like my life was over, but I had a friend of mine get me into positive thinking. And so, long story short, for the next year or so, I became this gung ho positive thinking warrior. I went to positive thinking weekends and I put power words on my walls and said my mantras and affirmations. And I'd go and jump on the stage and high five my friends and make vision boards and all that kind of good stuff. Well, guess what? It didn't help. I didn't get better. I got worse. I then turned to alternative medicine because I figured, well, maybe this alternative stuff would help, right? And so, long story short, I spent 5 years as a professional patient trying everything, you name it, acupuncture, herbs, homeopathy, osteopathy, craniosacral work, chiropractors, Pilates and yoga, and Reiki healing and pranic healing. And I did all these different cleanses and diets and detoxes and machines and you name it. I didn't get better. I got worse. And things really reached rock bottom in 2003 when I agreed to have an experimental surgery that a doctor thought could help me. I was accepted into the program, and when I woke up after the surgery, instead of being cured of my pain, I found my right arm paralyzed. I couldn't move it at all. And so it was stuck like that for several months. I tried all sorts of manipulations and machines and all that. And it was then that I got turned on to this woman named Terry from my aunt. And she said, hey, Brent, my friend Terry does this New Age healing thing. I think she's a little nuts, but, go ahead and try it. Maybe it could help you. And I went to see Terry, and honestly, I didn't expect her to be able to help me. I had been to like Reiki healers and pranic healers before, and she talked to me a little about the power of the subconscious and how the subconscious blocks can cause health problems, and talked to me about my belief in God and what had happened with my first wife and my best friend, and all the pain I'd been through and the money I had lost and all the traumas and such. And it was a very interesting. She did this subconscious block clearing thing, which I'll demonstrate for you in a few minutes. And at the end of our session, she just said, "Okay, Brent, relax. We'll take care of your arm." I'm like, "Yeah, lady, good luck, right? Give it a shot." And she's sitting across the room from me because this is all done with the mind. There's no hands-on, there's no machines, there's nothing you take, nothing like that. And she just kind of went into a trance. And about a minute later, my elbow went pop. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I could move my arm again. And so that was the first miracle. That was a huge turning point in my life where I looked at her and I said, Terry, I don't know what you just did, but I got to learn this. And so that was the day where this MIT engineer decided to become a healer. I wanted to figure out what had happened because I had discovered and experienced a miracle, but I knew it was not a coincidence. I knew that everything acts according to the laws of the universe, and I knew I could find that code. I knew I could figure it out. And so I started on my journey, and I've spent over 15 years, over 20,000 hours, and over $500,000 to work with the master healers, the intuitives, the gurus, the best people in the world. And I have figured out how it all works. I learned their secrets and shortcuts and techniques, and now I'm here to share it with you. And again, it took me a long time, but I think I've cracked the code. There is a formula for spiritual technology, and that's why I'm here tonight with this presentation. I want you to experience this for yourself. One thing I want to emphasize, you may be thinking, okay, Brent, sure, you could do it. You could be a master healer, right? You went to MIT and, you had all this success with all these websites. Well, guess what? I want everyone to know that certainly when I started this, many of my teachers told me I was their worst student ever. Why? I was so stuck in my mind. I couldn't feel at all. MIT had put me so deep in my head, it disconnected me from everything. And truly, one of the miracles of my life is that I could learn this stuff. And I want to be very clear that the reason will be so easy for you is because it was so hard for me. I had to learn all the ins and outs, all the nitty-gritty, all the details in order to figure it out. And because I was so bad at it, you're going to be amazing at it. And so I want to emphasize this because it confirms for me that if I can learn to do this, energy healing, accessing intuition, seeing energy, dissolving pain, experiencing instant healings, you can do this too, guaranteed. And you're going to be able to do it much faster, much more easily, and with a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of the expense and effort that I had to go to. And so remember, when I was 27, I was told my life was over. I was put on permanent disability. I spent years running around for treatments, racking up an enormous credit card debt. I've been through a bankruptcy. I've been through a divorce. I mean, I won't bore you with all the things I've been through. I've had migraines. I had cancer. I mean, on and on and on. And I was able to overcome all of that using the exact system I'm going to share with you tonight. One of the proudest moments of my life was when I got to take my son to see the World Series. Oh my gosh. 20 years ago, I never would have thought that would be possible. But I was able to heal my body, heal my mind, start a new career, make money, find love, start a family, and create an enormous amount of positive change in the world. And that's what I want to share with you. You can see my wonderful family here and my little boy RJ, who's the center of my universe. Just one of the many things I'm not going to talk much about. I was told I could never have children because I had Lyme disease. I had suffered from severe chemical poisoning, a lot of other stuff that I don't want to get into. And he's become the light of my life. But I'm sure you're a lot more interested in what this can do for you. So, using these exact same 7 secrets, we're going to be sharing and demonstrating and using with you tonight. Some things other people have done. I mentioned I have helped my clients to experience over 1,500 miraculous instant healings. And again, this is stuff that confounds doctors and shows up on medical scans. I've seen dozens of instant healings from cancer. The most important was my mother. She was diagnosed with clear cell endometrial cancer in 2010. I did one healing session with her, exactly what I'm going to share with you tonight. Again, we're doing a live demonstration in a few minutes. Just like that, from one healing session, all the cancer vanished from her body. When she had the surgery afterwards, her oncologist said, Karen, I've been doing this for over 30 years and I've never seen this happen. Somehow, all the dangerous cancer vanished from your body. Again, that's just one of the many miracles. If you go to my website, you'll see I have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. This stuff really works. I have helped my clients and students to achieve profound life transformations, especially around money and relationships. Absolutely. And perhaps most importantly, I've helped thousands of people to significantly raise their consciousness, to reduce the amount of suffering they experience, help them move towards enlightenment. And this is the exact system I want to show you right here, right now. And so, before we go any further, I want to offer you some hard proof, something more than words and anecdotes, that this really works. And so, here's some proof. What I'm going to share with you are some live blood cell analysis pictures. What is that? Well, live blood cell analysis is when they take a drop of your blood and look at it under a microscope, and they can determine the state of your health by how it looks. And so I've had this done a couple times with people before and after my weekend intensive. And so I'm going to show you just a few before and after pictures so you can see for yourself the incredible change that happens in your physical blood by learning these things. Again, that you don't take anything, there's no supplements or special foods or anything. This is just 2 days spent in higher consciousness with me, and this is what happens. And so here's some pictures from Tom. On the left is Tom's blood on Friday afternoon before we started the event. The picture on the right is the same person's blood 2 days later on Sunday. And the only difference is you spent 2 days with me immersed in this energy of higher consciousness. That's it. And this is the incredible physical change that happens. And you don't have to be a live blood cell analyst to see this is pretty phenomenal, huh? This is the change that happens within the cells of your body when you're exposed to this energy. Here's another few pictures from a woman, Nicole. Again, the picture on the left is her blood on Friday before we started the event. And on the right is her blood on Sunday, just 2 days later. And I've done this several times with different live blood cell analysts. All of them have told me the same thing. They say, Brent, I can't believe this. Normally, to see this much change in someone's blood takes at least 6 months of special diets, supplements, meditation, and detoxifying. We can do it in 2 days, just with the energy of higher consciousness. This really is the formula for miracles. Here's just one more. Here's Tony. Here's her blood on Friday before the event started on the left, and there's her blood on Sunday after the event. All this done just in a 2-day training. Pretty incredible, huh? So there's some hard proof that what we're doing here creates incredible positive change in every cell of your body. I know you want to experience that. I know you want your mind and body to be sharper, healthier, stronger, more powerful, and I'm here to help you. And so, quite simply, there are 7 secrets to miracle consciousness. Just 7 things you need to know in order to experience this kind of change, to watch your blood transform, to experience instant healings, to change the direction of your life. And I'll talk just very quickly about all of them. We have instant healings, we have communicating with the subconscious mind, the development of intuition, uh, clearing subconscious blocks, what I call subconscious recoding. We have theta wave manifesting, meaning how to use a waking theta brain state to send a signal out to the universe to bring things into your life. We have embodiment, and I'll talk a little more about this. This is a huge missing piece in many of the systems and programs I've studied. We do that through consciousness shifting, which we're going to do here in a few minutes, and movement feedback holography, which I'm going to show you a demonstration of. And lastly, there is awakening. the deepest spiritual truth, discovering you. So let's talk all about them in order. Secret number one, instant healing. This is the exact same process I used to deliver over 1,500 miracles to my clients. This is the exact same process I'll be using for everyone tonight that requests a healing from me. And so, what I want to do is offer a quick case study here from a man named Aristotle. He came to one of my courses not long ago, and I want to show you a short video of what happened to him right after he went through it. So let's turn it over to Aristotle here for a short time.
Hi, my name is Aristotle Karras. I wanted to give a testimonial for my friend Brent Phillips. I just took his class, Awakening Dynamics. It was probably the most in-depth healing workshop that I've ever taken. It, it was so profound because it gave you real tools that you were able to use right away. One of the students in the class, besides myself, we ended up knowing each other and from another event, and we called each other a couple of days later after the class, and she happened to fall down and hit her head. And I said, "Hey, do you mind if I do some casework on you?" She goes, "Absolutely, please." And within minutes, she was having her headache and trauma that she had go away. And I've had amazing experiences since then, been able to work on myself, work on my family. I just cannot say enough about Brent Phillips and what a gift he is to the world, and his skills and his level of teaching. Just the handouts alone were just epic.
So there you have it from Aristotle. Next, I want to share with you a case study from one of my students who recently came to the course. I haven't had a time to get his video yet, but this is what he told me. In his words, he said, "I didn't do my first healing until 6 months after I'd taken your course, when my mother was diagnosed with leukemia. She was taken to Georgetown University, one of the best hospitals, and told she had 2 weeks to live. They sent her home with some medications and a very small chance of survival." And Anthony goes on to say, "I wasn't sure if I was ready, but with your block clearing, I was confident in my training." So he did a healing on her. The same process I'm going to demonstrate for you in a few minutes. And then he says, this week she returned to the hospital and they found no trace of the big C. She is 100% healed. And I wanted to share this with you because this is someone that just went through the weekend training, didn't even use it for 6 months, and experienced a miracle and saved his mother's life. This really happened. And I know you want to learn this. I know you want to have this power, this ability. I mean, after all, if you can just do one awesome healing like this, even if it's just one for the rest of your life, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth the time and the energy times 1,000, a million? I think so. And so, again, these are, I'm showing these because these are things that my students did. All they did was go through the first training. That's it. So, on to the second secret, body intelligence. One of the most important things I want to share with you is how to bypass the conscious mind in order to get a direct hotline to your body's intelligence, to the subconscious mind. And so here's how it works. The mind lies. The mind can deceive you. What we say, what we write, it can be deceiving. However, when you know how to communicate with the body, it always tells the truth. And there's a couple of ways we use this. One is how to identify the codes in the subconscious. You'll see me using this in the live healing we're going to do in a few minutes. Another way is through the movement feedback holography. We actually learn how to read the energy patterns coming off the body through movement. And so this is really important stuff. When you learn how to communicate directly with the body, you will discover the deepest truths and you will be able to move your life forward. On to secret number 3, intuition. Part of my mission is to show everyone how to access their intuition. And this is so important because everybody can do it. Trust me, it took me years and years of practice to figure it out. And if I can do it, MIT engineer stuck deep in his head, if I can do it, you can too. Because intuition is your connection to the higher power. It is your higher intelligence. And guess what? The odds don't matter when you have a strong intuitive connection. Intuitively, you can learn the right house to buy, the right stocks to buy, the right foods to eat, the right people to associate with. This is a life changer, and I would love to share this with you. But don't take my word for it. I'm going to share with you a quick case study here from a woman named Felicia and how she came through this training and the incredible results she experienced about how it turbocharged her intuition. So let's turn it over to Felicia here.
Hey Brent, this is Felicia here. As a result of taking the class, being a level one Formula for Miracles practitioner, I am able to heal people instantly. As a result of that, my income has increased by at least 20%. And I launched a radio show that Sunday night. And so I would like for you to be on the show. And so I am just so grateful and thankful that I am a part of your tribe and will continue to be because I do intend to take the next set of classes. So that's what Formula for Miracles has done for me. It personally has changed my life. The Unleashing Your Inner Millionaire helped me to overcome some negative thoughts about money and um, success. Um, what else? Some generational curses. And I mean, it was instant, and I saw results after that. Like I said, my income increased 20%, my confidence increased, my self esteem, how I, knowing that I am more than enough, even my intuitiveness increased. So I'm stepping back into my power. I am my power, and I'm grateful and thankful.
So there you go. A little bit from Felicia about her experience. Now we're going to move on and talk to you about secret number 4, subconscious recoding. And this is really important because this is the way we clear out the blocks. I'm going to show you how to find the subconscious blocks, how to clear them, and how to install new code into your subconscious. And I have highly optimized this technology. I've used everything I learned at MIT to make it so fast, so easy, so powerful that everyone that comes through the training learns how to clear subconscious blocks on the second day in just seconds. Guaranteed. Everybody. And this is literally rewriting the software of your life. I call it the software of your soul. And by learning to identify and clear these blocks and add in new code to the subconscious, you can completely change your life. Literally, how it works is we all have programs inside of us for every area of your life, just like a computer. You have a program for your career, your physical health, your emotional health, your love life, your intuition, your sense of purpose, your friendships, everything, even your level of happiness, you have a program for. And I want to show you how to change those programs, how to improve them. And I want to do a couple demonstrations here so you can see exactly what this looks like. I am going to be doing a live healing demonstration in just a few minutes, but right now I want to start by showing you a demonstration. This was recorded live at one of my weekend workshops with a man named Michael. And I want you to see a miracle happen during the healing session. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of it here. Anyone that's interested, I have the full video I'd be happy to share with you. Now, it's about 15 minutes to watch the full session. But he came to my workshop. I picked him out of my crowd. We did 15 minutes of healing, and this is what it looks like. So we'll turn it over here. I'll give you just a little demonstration of what this. Let's check. I have to quit my job to make more money.
I have to quit my job to make more money.
Good. You have your own company or a job or?
Own company.
Okay. I have to start a different company to make more money.
I have to start a different company to make more money.
No. Okay. You may want to. We just don't want to make you think you have to.
Okay.
Let's check. I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
Okay. Let's clear that. Okay.
Okay.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
Good.
Okay.
I have to know how it's going to happen first.
I have to know how it's going to happen first.
No. Good. I'm open to Creator's plan for my life.
I'm open to Creator's plan for my life.
Good. I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
Nope. Want to shift that?
Might as well, yeah.
It's okay. I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
Good. I can take care of my family no matter how much money I make.
I can take care of my family no matter how much money I make.
Good. I am comfortable in my new energy.
I'm comfortable with my new energy.
Good. My body is comfortable with its new energy.
My body is comfortable with its new energy.
All right. All set. Good work. Yay. Congratulations, sir. So there you go. That's what it looks like. And in a few minutes, I'll show you from Michael in his own words what happened afterwards. But let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover. Secret number 5, theta wave manifesting. And so this is a really important tool because this is how we bring things into our life, right? We manifest. But you may be thinking, hey, Brent, whoa, pump the brakes. That sounds to me like the law of attraction. And I've done a lot of law of attraction stuff. Maybe you spent a lot of money on it and didn't get a lot of results. And so I'm going to answer that. What is the law of attraction? Well, the law of attraction tells us that what you focus on tends to show up in your life, right? If you focus on being positive, being wealthy, you'll tend to have a happy, prosperous life. If you're focused on problems and negativity and scarcity, you'll get more of that. So that's what the law of attraction is. But of course, most of us who have done law of attraction stuff, maybe you're like me and you went to all these different programs and seminars and intensives and retreats. You may have spent a lot of money on it without seeing a lot of positive change. Well, there's actually a study that was done, and it showed over 99% of people that used the law of attraction felt they got bad results. That's pretty awful, right? That the typical law of attraction has a 99% failure rate. Well, guess what? There's a reason for that. It's because many of us are full of subconscious blocks. And using this technology, what I just showed you in the little demo with Michael, you can change that. You can have a much higher success rate, but only if you have the right technology. Otherwise, you can throw away $1 million on coaches and positive thinking weekends. It's not going to do anything. But there is a secret. I want to help you make that breakthrough. You may say, okay, Brent, what about that 1% of people that do use the law of attraction and are successful, right? Like a lot of the people teach in the seminars and sell in the books. Well, that's because there's about 1% of us that are naturally clear of subconscious blocks. So, you get 200 people in a room, on average, 2 of them will have success. But I want to do much better. I want to show you how to raise the success rate dramatically with the right technology. Because for me, remember, I spent about a year on this positive thinking path, going to all these programs and seminars and coaches, ran up a huge amount of credit card debt, and it did nothing for me. Why? I was full of subconscious blocks. That's the difference Terry made for me. With this technology, you can clear your blocks. You can actually get results. So let me emphasize, the law of attraction won't work until you can clear your blocks. And so good news is, in just a few minutes, I'm going to be doing again a live healing demonstration of what we call digging, of taking a real person with a real problem and helping them to very quickly, it'll probably be 30 minutes or less, identify and clear the huge blocks that have been holding them back. So you're going to get to see me do that live. Again, remember, 99% of our power is locked up in the subconscious. That's huge, right? And so in order to access that power, we need to use the theta wave. And so the keys to having success with manifesting are very simple. 1, you need the technology of the theta wave. I'm going to offer that to you and make it really, really easy. And 2, you need to clear your subconscious blocks. You do that, the theta wave is like this magical key that unlocks the power of the subconscious mind. It's pretty amazing. And so remember Michael from a few minutes ago? Well, in that little block clearing session you saw, now I'm going to show you in his words what happened in his life just a few days later. This has actually happened literally the day after the weekend course. So we'll turn it over to Michael again.
In September, Brent called me up and we did some digging. You may notice in the manifesting in your booklet we just did, it said if you had a manifest that showed up tonight, come and let us know tomorrow, which triggered my thoughts about this story. Well, Brent did the digging on me. We went through financial prosperity. Very intuitive, very good session. But I remember at the end he said something like, okay, now the money can flow to you. Let's bump it up a bit and have some good money come in. So I went home. My pot of gold was not sitting there on my front doorstep. So I didn't have a story the next day. And the day after that, it was still pretty much life as usual. However, well, let me tell you, I was at one point the director of computing for a good chunk of the UCLA campus. It was back in the mid-90s. I left there in 96. Well, on Monday, I had a letter from the University of California saying that they had money for me. As a matter of fact, it was over a 6-figure check, and they wanted to know if I wanted them to process and send it to me. They'd been trying to find me and they finally located me. So I thought about this because I told Brent I thought he was slipping there. It took so long for that money to show up, but I had to give him a break because we figured out there was no mail delivered on Sunday. So check showed up on Monday.
Yep.
Well, the letter showed up on Monday, so all I had to do was request the check.
Yep. Pretty incredible, huh? And of course, I have to emphasize, I can't promise everyone's going to get that result. Not everyone that comes through this training has over $100,000 show up out of nowhere on Monday. But this really happened, and it's because we applied these technologies. We used the theta state, we cleared his blocks, and boom, his life transformed. Over $100,000 showed up the day after. I think that's pretty amazing. But on to secret number 6, which is embodiment. And this is important because this is a huge missing piece in almost everything I have studied. And so what does this mean? Well, what is embodiment? Well, quite simply, embodiment is going beyond learning spiritual teachings to living them. And so embodiment is the difference between reading a book about how to swim and actually jumping in the water and swimming. And this is what I want to do for you with the energy healing, the law of attraction, the higher consciousness. Of course, I'm going to show you the best technology and explain it to you, but I'm also going to give you the experience of it because I don't just want to talk to you about this stuff. I want you to experience it for yourself. And this is huge, huge, huge. The embodiment is what made the biggest difference in my life, in awakening and embodiment. When I first started the embodiment through the movement, which we'll demonstrate in a second, I literally more than doubled my income in less than 6 months. And it kept rising after that. So that this is no joke, that this is enormous. Because embodiment turbocharges your abilities, whether it's for healing, for manifesting, for intuition, for purpose, for making a difference in the world. This is a huge spiritual turbocharger. And there's 3 primary techniques we use for this. One is movement feedback holography, where we read the energy pattern on people doing special movements, and I entrain them into the quantum field to reprogram those patterns, and I'm going to demonstrate that. We also do it through consciousness shifting, which we'll do also in a few minutes right here on this webinar, as well as brainwave synchronization, which is a little more advanced. And just know that without embodiment, you cannot fully activate the law of attraction. And there's very few people out there that really know what they're doing and how to teach this. Good news is, I think you found one of them. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you just a little clip of a real-life movement feedback holography session with Jake. And this, again, was recorded live at one of my weekend intensives. And I think it'll be much easier for you to see what it is rather than me trying to talk about it. So here we go. Let's turn it over to Jake for.
Wow, it's his left and right side are totally split. It's like there's a barrier down the middle of his body, and the left and right are not cooperating. They're oddly in sync.
Very much in sync, yeah.
They're very much in sync. But I see like this big barrier right down the middle.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's like dividing you in half.
It's hard to see it from the side, but I can see it on the camera view. It's like a 1 foot wide barrier between the two.
There's also a little bit of frustrated loss, not sure where to go. That's showing up? Yeah. That he has energy, but he feels like what he's doing doesn't really matter. That's just wrong and bad. Show us the bully, the brute.
Yeah. Oh, wow. See
oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
I think the room is shaking.
Yeah. I felt like a wave of force flew off of you.
Oof, there's some power there.
You see how much sadness is coming up? That's okay. Go with the sadness. The sadness will set you free of all this.
That's pulling in towards him a lot more.
Yeah.
The energy's coming in.
You can feel how powerful he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is really good.
Oh, yeah.
You see,
and even though he's sitting, it's moving through his whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a power that's flowing from top to bottom.
Can you see his vision turned on? You can see he has huge vision. There's so much wisdom in there.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? It may seem a little strange if you've never seen this before, but the movement is probably the most profound and powerful technique that I've experienced to move yourself forward. And I know you want to experience that too. And we do it all in the first weekend intensive. But I want to still cover secret number 7, awakening, which I've saved for last because it is the deepest, the most challenging, but also the most rewarding. And so, what is awakening? Well, first, let me tell you what it's not. When I say awakening, I'm not talking about learning about energy healing or the law of attraction or intuitive readings. That's good stuff. What I'm talking about is something very specific. When I say awakening, I mean coming to a crystal clear understanding of what you are, this awareness, and how that's completely different than you as the separated ego. And the awakening is so important. This was such a huge change in my life. And this is not something Brent invented. This has been around for thousands and thousands of years. In the Eastern traditions, this is considered the highest study there is, what's called Jnana Yoga, the yoga of wisdom. In the West, we call it non-duality. In the East, it's called Advaita Vedanta. But this is the deepest truth. This is truly all of these things and more. Awakening is the beginning of the end of suffering. It is the key to penetrating and releasing attachment. It is your personal spiritual turbocharger. By learning to penetrate and release attachment, to be present, to drop in, you will become so much more powerful doing healings, doing manifesting, doing everything in your life. This is the secret of higher consciousness, and many have referred to it as the foot in the door to enlightenment. There's one path to enlightenment through higher consciousness in terms of how we map the progress, and that path goes right through awakening. There is no enlightenment without awakening. Without awakening, there will always be suffering, no matter how rich or powerful or healthy you are. And so I want to give you all of this. And so without further ado, I want to move ahead so everyone can actually experience higher consciousness. Enough talking about it for now. I want you to experience this. And so we're going to spend a few minutes doing what I call the consciousness shifting process. For many people, you will start to see energy and auras with your open eyes. Now, it doesn't happen for everyone the first time. For some people, you may need repeated exposures. And for some, it's more intense than for others. But for many, this will unlock your ability to see energy and auras with your open eyes. If that happens for you, please let us know in the chat room. We'd love to hear from you. Another purpose of this is by moving you into a higher place of consciousness, it can help to dissolve pain and discomfort. So if you're in any kind of pain right now, it could be physical pain, emotional pain, doesn't matter, financial pain, what you'll notice is afterwards, it will lessen. It may still be there a little bit, it may be completely gone. We'll see what happens. But higher consciousness can dissolve any pain. It really can, and I want to show you so you can experience this for yourself. The most important reason I do this is I want to give you a little taste of awakened consciousness. It's like talking about orange juice. I could talk to you all day about it, but it's no substitute for taking a sip. This is the closest thing I found to giving you a little taste of awakened consciousness. What we're going to do is really to crank up the volume of okayness in your life and the world. Because guess what? 3 minutes from now, you're going to be in the same body, the same family, the same job, the same financial situation. But guess what? When you can raise your consciousness, everything will seem more okay. You will be empowered to take action that will make a difference. And this is really important. Everything will seem more okay. That frees you up your power for positive change. So, some warnings. If you go deep into this, you may see faces disappear. If you're looking at my picture, you may see my face fade away and others show up. If it does, great. What you're seeing is me in other incarnations, what we call past life memories. Don't panic, not everyone sees it. But if you do, that's what's happening. You're seeing beyond the veil. If you go very deep, you may seem like the whole room is fading away. That's incredible if you can do it. Don't worry. Again, that's wonderful. It means you're really getting it. You may also notice that objects that seem to be that you know are stationary seem to be moving. There is an illusion of movement. If you see that, great, you're on the right track. And just know that you don't have to have any visual experience to get benefit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for about 3 minutes here, and I'm going to draw you into this place of higher consciousness. And I'm going to talk just a little bit because I want everyone to know I'm here with you. But I'm not going to talk nonstop because I can go deeper into the quantum field with you when I'm not speaking. So again, I'm just slowly going to entrain you into the zone. If you're not sure what to do, just look at my left eye on the picture. So here we go. And I'll just talk a little so you know I'm here. And what I'm doing is entraining you into the quantum field. We're literally seeing beyond the veil, the illusion of our physical reality, to see the truth underneath. Not everyone gets the visual effects, at least at first. Stick with it, you will. You might see the white aura appear. If you're really good, you may see the colors too. Try to minimize your blinking. Don't force your eyes open, but the less you blink, the deeper it's possible to go into the quantum field. You may notice things getting blurry. That's good. That means you're getting it. And so I'm going to just go quiet here to go a little deeper into the field with everybody. Don't worry, I'm going to be here the whole time. So we'll do just a little more here. All right, and then I'll gently bring everyone back to normal, whatever that is, huh? Excellent. So remember, the goal there is just to give you a little taste of higher consciousness. And a lot of us are unconsciously resistant to that. If we're really stuck in the ego, it's not your fault. It takes a little while to pull out of it. And so I hope you had some great experiences. Please let me know in the chat room. Let us know. Were you able to see my aura? Did you see anything moving around? Did you see other faces? And more importantly, do you feel everything's a little more okay? This is higher consciousness, less suffering. So if you experienced anything, less pain, more spaciousness, everything's more okay, please let us know in the chat room. We'd love to hear from you. And so I'm going to offer one super fast case study from Deborah about her experience diving in and learning this stuff. And so we'll turn it over to Deborah. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Deborah. I was a student of Brent's this past year, and I'd like to sincerely thank him for all that he taught me in his Awakening Dynamics Level 1 course. Prior to that, I had been in the technical field for 21 years, and I had to leave in 2014 due to chronic fatigue syndrome. This was mostly stress related for me, And, being the left brain logical person that I was, I decided that I was going to take a leap of faith and leave my job and go ahead and work on the physical. And I didn't really have a lot of concepts in the metaphysical world. So about a year and a half later, I was kind of in the same predicament. And I was spinning my wheels, and I was really feeling hopeless. And then I learned about Brent on a teleseminar in 2015 of December. And he spoke about his story, which I related to because we're both technical. And he talked about some concepts that I wasn't familiar with in the metaphysical world. And so I was really intrigued, skeptical but intrigued, because I had tried so much more before that. And so I took a leap of faith with him, and I went ahead and enrolled in his course in January. And he taught me that everything up here really does shape how we see our world. So he showed us the tools to simply access that information of these limiting beliefs, and he showed me how to reprogram them in a very simple and elegant manner. So, and I'm really thrilled because, about 8 months later, life is just so different now, and I'm just so excited because I'm about to start a holistic business, and my health is just improved significantly. So I'm really sincerely grateful to Brent for getting that information out there, and especially for people like myself who are very technically oriented, because he made it so easy to understand all these metaphysical concepts, and he really opened up my world. So thank you so much, Brent.
All right, so thank you to Deborah for sharing with us. Now I have a question. Is this for you? Are you open to the possibility that a genuine spiritual awakening is the gateway to finally live the life that you know you deserve? Is this for you? I think you want to deepen your understanding, to awaken the unlimited healing energy within you. And who's interested in discovering the secrets hidden in the ancient mystery schools? I am very lucky that my teacher gave me permission to share these with the world, unfiltered, to give you the purest, the most powerful teachings that for thousands of years you could only learn at the highest levels of the ancient mystery schools. And so are you ready? Are you ready to leave your old life behind? Are you ready to move into the higher dimensions, to experience the power, the fulfillment, the joy that comes with knowing how to use and apply all these things? We know that you were created to lead an extraordinary life. And I'm confident you'll agree this program is the key to unlocking your authentic power. And so for any program, no matter what it is, if you want to learn karate, if you want to learn surfing, a language, learn to play guitar, energy healing, you name it, for any program to be effective, there must be 3 core components. Number 1, you want to learn from cutting edge yet proven content. That's important. You want the best stuff available, but you need to know what works. Number 2, you need supervised practice with masters. This is important. This is why you can't learn energy healing or karate from a book. You need to have supervised practice with people who really know what they're doing. And lastly, you need ongoing support. You need a community. You need an opportunity for deep discovery. What this will not be is, come through a seminar, get a rubber stamp certificate, and be thrown to the street. No. I'm going to give you a lot of ongoing support, community opportunities to get help, to practice, to go deep into the topics you're interested in. And so the Secrets to Higher Dimensional Living Weekend Intensive is truly the culmination of my life's work. It is an in-depth live training with lots of hands-on exercises to take you deep into every aspect of this formula for miracles. You will learn and use all of these secrets: instant healing, communicating with the body intelligence, developing, refining intuition, learning to do subconscious block learnings and downloads, theta wave manifesting, embodiment through movement, through consciousness shifting, as well as awakening. All of these things are covered in depth. And it starts with a 2.5-day workshop. You can join us live in Los Angeles when there's space in the room, or it's always available through online live video streaming. It is a step-by-step process to raise you into higher consciousness. And I guarantee if you haven't started your awakening process, we will start it. If you have already started it, we will accelerate it. We will show you how to quickly identify and clear subconscious blocks. That's the demonstration I'm going to do live in a few minutes. I'm going to show you how to do all this, how to find the core. Quite simply, I'm going to give you all my best tips and processes and shortcuts, the exact same system I've used to create over 1,500 miracles for my clients. You're going to get all of that handed to you on a silver platter. Lots of hand-on development. And this course is packed with value. I know a lot of weekend seminars and trainings that may have one good idea or technique that they fill with fluff and expand out to a weekend. That's not this. You will see, you will get a life-changing insight, technique, idea, teaching every 5 or 10 minutes. There will be dozens of things, any one of which could totally change your life. And to make sure you don't miss anything, you get a very detailed manual. It's over 100 pages long, a full recording of the entire event, so you can go through it again as many times as you like, all included, as well as an option for professional certification. Also included is 90 days on the house access to my exclusive silver level VIP club. With silver level, you get access to regular practice groups. We usually do them every week. Live practice groups. You can join us, ask questions, practice what you learned, get healings. It's phenomenal. Every month I do a live demonstration and give away a private session to a member. There's a good chance you'll win. If you stay in the club and apply, everyone that stays in and applies wins free sessions with me. I do regular live block clearing and Q&A sessions. There's a huge archive of private one-on-one sessions you can listen to learn, to get more healing, to go deeper, as well as what I call my deep learning masterclasses. And so there's many of these. These are just a sample. There's over 40 on the site. They are master classes of high-def video trainings and PDF workbooks on all these different subjects. And this is just a few examples. Happiness, fear, anger, addiction, confidence, emotional eating, awakening, self-esteem, brain optimization, forgiveness, understanding personality types, dissolving pain, and there's a lot more. This is just a sample. All this is included. You get all of this, which I think is pretty amazing. And so you may ask, okay, Brent, what's this going to cost? All right, I'm going to answer you. Now, the truth is, I spent over 10 years and over $500,000 going around to all these different gurus and masters and healers and intuitives and workshops and intensives to reverse engineer their secrets. And if you've been around the new age world for a little while, self-improvement, that you know there are plenty of $10,000 plus workshops and coaching programs that do not deliver anywhere near either the quality or the amount of content and hands-on experience you're going to get here. I know this because I've been through a lot of these programs. I've spent an enormous amount of money going around to some very well-known people. And I can guarantee you what I'm offering is so much more value. It's crazy. And so the full price, if you add up everything that's included, is actually only $6,612, which honestly, even at that price point, this is the best investment of your life. To learn how to live in the higher dimensions, to do instant healings. I mean, from my experience alone, there have been many lives saved and many more transformed. How much is that worth? You're going to get all of this, and I want to make it a no-brainer. I really want you to go through this program. So I'm going to drop the price all the way down to $497, or there's a payment plan available if you prefer that. And so you get the full 2.5-day live or online weekend intensive. You get a very extensive manual, a recording of the entire event, and an option for professional certification, as well as silver level in my VIP club for 90 days. 90 days of community, practice groups, block clearing calls, Q&A sessions, opportunity for deep learning, plus a whole longer list of bonuses I don't want to get into now because I want to get into our live healing. But all this is included, and I'm discounting it over 90% because I want to make this an easy decision. This should be a no-brainer. I'm also going to let you know that I'm going to take away all the risk in terms of the money. There is a 100% no questions asked money back guarantee. So I don't want there to be any risk on your part. If you think this won't be as good as I say, come see for yourself. If you disagree, you can have your money back. And it is a conditional money back guarantee with a simple condition. All you need to do is attend the entire first day of the training, either live at the hotel or online. That's it. If you attend the entire first day, just 4 hours, and you don't like it for any reason, you can get 100% of your money back, no questions asked. And you can keep the bonuses, which I don't want to talk about now. There's so many bonuses, it's crazy. Maybe I'll talk about them after the live healing. So no financial risk to you, 100% money back guarantee. it is a condition that you must come to the first day of the live training just 4 hours. Because I know that when you see how powerful this is, how valuable it is, you're going to want the whole thing. I have total confidence in that. And so I encourage everyone, if you see the value here, which I hope you do, I know you want this, register now. There should be a little button beneath your webcast that says, yes, transform my life. Just click on that. It'll take you to a page with some more information about it. And then you can go ahead and check out, and you'll get everything showed up right in your web browser as well as in your email. Just let us know if you're coming live or online, and we'll take it from there. I think you'll be amazed. And so I know that many of you are ready to invest now. If you see the value here that I do, I know you want to do this. Just click the button on the webcast that says, yes, transform my life. I'm going to give everyone a minute here that wants to go do that. And if you want to stick with us, don't worry. Next is our live healing demonstration. So if anybody has any specific questions for me, please put them into the Q&A. I'll answer all the questions at the end. I will also be doing healings on everybody. If you have any healings you'd like to request, put them into the Q&A. But right now, what I want to do is transition to our live healing demonstration. And so what I've done is I've selected one of the members from my VIP club, and I give away a private session like this every month to a member. And we broadcast it through a call like this so other people can listen in. However, I want you to know that you're not just listening. I'm also including you in all the healings I'm doing. And so all the block clearings we're doing, all the downloads, all the trauma clearings, all the healings, I will also be giving to you. So it's entirely optional, but if you know how to do muscle testing and you want to follow along and check yourself for the blocks, I will also be sending you all the same clearings and healings. So I encourage you to at least listen, if not follow along. I think you'll get tremendous value, even if you're not the person I'm working with. So let's go and make sure they are on the line right here, and we will transition in, and you will actually get to see me do some live healing on a real person with a real problem.